Oh, we're already starting?
I record everything. I
Oh,
record.
okay, you're in there. That's why your editing be taking so long. Don't
That's
edit that
it.
out. Don't edit that out. As the girlfriend. That's why this taking me. It's taking me hours. That's because you record. You don't need to record once we start. That's why you got all this extra time.
You never know when the good shit coming, man.
Hmm.
You never know.
Put your children to bed.
Kids don't need to hear what's about to happen.
Hot crack has returned.
HBK, the lady lover, the king of pleasure.
It's the most hated Ock, baby.
Oh, please say the baby.
You tuned in to Pie Crack. 8-Bit Paul, aka Five the Fresh.
Pie crack in this bitch.
Yo, it's your boy Matt, the Mad Titan. We the Bloods with attitude, and this is the party dude.
Barely.
Anybody else I talk to about this shit, they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And that's why pie crack must exist.
Pod crack. Real raw and unmotherfucking good.
Welcome to a very special episode. It is none other, always friendly, never phony. It's the HBK. Well, not this time. This is just Sean. This is Sean talking to you. This is Sean talking to you. And my very, very, very special guest, somebody who I know very well, longtime listener, first time caller, Dr. Megan Threats. Dr. Meg, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing well. I'm excited to discuss the topic of the day.
Yes. We're so glad you could join us today. And the topic for today, earlier today, we went and we saw a movie called Michael, simply titled Michael. It was the latest biopic of chronicling some of the life, of Michael Joseph Jackson, one of the biggest pop stars, arguably the biggest pop star that's ever walked this earth. And so we did not see this together, but we saw it at the same time. We've saved our comments. I don't know what this young lady is gonna say. I don't know what she's thinking. What's going on in that pretty little head right there? You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna find out. And she doesn't know what I'm thinking. We're gonna make it do what it do. So, ma'am, sweetheart, what are your overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts, not a good film. Not a good biopic. Great casting. All-star cast. They did the best they could with what they had.
Okay.
I think that the editing wouldn't have saved it and did not save it.
Got you.
Overall, it lacked depth.
Mm.
It was pretty.
Okay.
It felt like Lord forgive me, it felt like a reel for St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Okay.
And we already know that Michael's a humanitarian, given
Yes.
the namesake. They wanted to show us Michael's humanity. We already know Michael's humanity. Give us Michael. We did not get Michael.
You know what? I agree with you.
Yeah, we didn't get Michael. We got parts of Michael. There was a lot of alluding to things.
Yeah.
With no depth. So the film lacked depth, and for the first time in my life, I agree with the critic score over the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh, a damning, a damning condemnation. Let me tell you something, man. I'm kind of the same mind as you. I would. This is what I'll say, right? And I've watched the last couple times I've watched films about real musicians, about the chronicling the life of real musicians. I think, and it's funny because I saw the name on the poster to Michael. The last one I saw, I believe, was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Mm-hmm.
That had to do with telling you about the life of Freddie Mercury and Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And before that was probably the Tupac film.
Mm-hmm.
And both of those had a lot to do with what I thought about this movie, which is they have this thing that they do now where it's way too much CGI used for just stuff that you don't need CGI for. I'm like, why do I need a CGI Gary, Indiana?
Yeah.
Like in '66, you can find some stock footage of that and just ride with it. I
Just
think
go to
Elvis did the
Detroit.
same thing, huh?
So just go to Detroit.
Basically, a lot of bad wigs and teeth. Lots of bad wigs and teeth. And I think this might just be a sign of the times, but I think what they do now is they don't want to give you a narrative structure of a film. They want to give you, hey, this is 1967 in Gary, Indiana. Hey, this is 1972 in Detroit, Michigan. Hey, this is 1980. I'm like, if I see one more date and city stamp in this damn movie, like you just hitting the beats. And that's how I felt the Tupac movie was. It just was like, and this has happened, and then this happened, but this happened, and also this happened. I'm like, what is the story you trying to tell me? Or are you just giving me a greatest hits sizzle reel? And so, that's where I came at it. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the elephant in the room.
Please let the elephant in.
The first time, I'm a little older. I'm 38 years of age.
Okay.
So the first time I have to be very transparent with the audience. The first time I ever saw the moonwalk, it was not done by Michael Jackson.
Oh.
The first time, because I grew up at a time with no social media.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where cable didn't just beat you, or TV didn't just beat you over the head with stuff that had happened historically. It gave you stuff that was going on now.
Right.
And so the first time I ever saw the moonwalk, it was done by Willie Draper. Willie Draper Jr. on American Dream, the Jackson story.
Okay.
Miniseries from the 90s. And I would be doing a disservice to this whole thing if I didn't address that. So, sweetheart, what are your feelings about that? Did you go into it thinking that versus this? Were you able to take that out of your mind? Like, give me that.
For sure. That's actually an excellent question. I went in with high hopes because of the casting. Like I mentioned, Jafar, who's a member of the family. We have Neil Long and, one of my favorites. Oh my God, it's Coleman Domingo. So I was very excited, and I feel like even their performances couldn't save this. Whereas when I think about Jackson, the Jacksons in American Dream, I mean, Jason Weaver, I mean, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
There's no comparison. If you have a good script, you have a good story, you have a plot, you have depth of characters, and it's written well, it doesn't matter who you cast. But if you cast somebody like Jason Weaver, you get a great story. And so I feel like there was just no depth to it. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't compare it to, that film. I'm a big Michael fan, and I didn't need the film to be historically accurate. But since it had so many fallacies in some of the storytelling, I'm like, well, it can at least be good.
Yeah.
It was not good.
No.
And I am disappointed. Here's the thing. I don't mind when a biopic has, this year, and kind of jumps, because I love Straight Outta Compton. And they kept doing, Joe Louis Arena, Detroit, da-da-da-da. This happened, this Lynch Mob versus. Excellent film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent film, excellent acting, excellent structure, excellent depth. Didn't skirt around some of the, maybe not so savory parts of their legacy. And so I kind of went in with the budget that they had and the amount of press and everything that's gone into this. I just expected so much more, and I was kind of left wanting. We'll probably get to this, but with this in mind, because I'm like, what makes a good biopic? My question to you is, what are maybe your top 3 biopics that are based on musicians?
Woo! Ooh, that's a good question. You put me on my shit right there. My top 3 biopics based on musicians would be I'm gonna throw American Dream in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's I'm gonna give up my bias right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the Temptations,
Mm-hmm.
miniseries from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And rounding that out, probably be Straight Outta Compton.
Okay. Okay.
And Straight Outta Compton, Antoine Fuqua directed Straight Outta Compton and also directed this movie, Michael. So
interesting.
Yeah. Which, you know what? It's funny because I said Antoine Fuqua, who also did Training Day and a couple of the movies Equalizer with Denzel Washington. I said he got to slip that LA shit in there some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
And so not until I see I need your help. I got to put something together. They walk into a warehouse full of Crips and Bloods, and I'm like, hey, oh, okay. Hey, he was in LA in the 80s. Oh, that's what's up. But yeah, those are my top three. Let me ask you. Let me put the same question on you.
Without a doubt, Ray.
I forgot about Ray.
Without a doubt, Ray.
Okay.
Yeah. Regina, Jamie, just stellar performances.
Amazing film.
Oscar earned.
Yes.
For a period of time, I couldn't distinguish between Ray Charles and Jamie Foxx because Jamie just started recording all these songs with everybody.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't even know if I think he might have been so deep into character acting that and I'm like, now that's.
Is this a sample or is this nigga, is he singing?
Is he singing? So Ray, for sure.
Yeah.
Anything for Selena's, okay?
Okay.
That's why when people like slander Jennifer Lopez, I can't hear because Selena, still, me and my family will watch it like randomly, like on a random Tuesday virtually via FaceTime because we love that biopic so much.
I think one of the first things me and you ever debated, one of the first times we ever bumped heads after meeting, I asked you, I was like, I got a sneaking suspicion Selena wasn't everything that they say she was. And yeah, that ignited a fire in you. I remember that vividly.
Listen, we must respect the Latino community, okay? What you mean impact? What? That's Mexican Beyonce, baby. Before Beyonce was Beyonce.
Oh my
Even
God.
Beyonce was here for Halloween one year. Like what?
True.
I remember Texas Southern's band. They did Como La Flor, and I said, you have an HBCU band that fully wrote sheet music and had a whole performance with their majorettes to Como La Flor. Like Selena, her impact, please. I say, keep. You wasn't there. That's okay. You wasn't there. The rest of us were.
Okay. All right. Listen.
Selena and
Listen,
J-Lo. That's like I know J-Lo slander will be tolerated.
Okay, that's two. Ray, Selena.
My third, you know what? I really enjoyed Straight Outta Compton, as you know, but since you already said that one, I'm gonna say Bessie.
Ooh.
Starring Queen Latifah.
All right, little Queen Latifah representation.
I thought
usually
that was
not represented in the conversations like this. Okay.
It's not. And people need to respect the Queen.
This is true.
Queen was Queen before Will Smith was Will Smith. You get what I'm putting I'm putting down?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah, that was an excellent film.
Yes, it was.
And the director was I don't know how to say her name. Is it Dee Reese? I don't know how to say her name, but she's pretty prolific. And so yeah, Bessie, I'm like, let's not forget about that. And then can I give you an honorable mention?
Please.
Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Okay.
It might not necessarily qualify.
I mean, it's borderline. It's borderline.
But Viola and Chadwick.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
When she like, listen, I'm not coming to you. I have my Coca-Cola, my cash. Y'all gotta let my little nephew do this too. I don't care if he stutters. He's getting paid cash as well. We're gonna perform this the way that I want to perform it because this is my band.
Shout out to a quality rider. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, and this is a Black woman in the 1920s saying, I don't care how y'all feel about me.
Yeah.
I'm getting my money and my writer will be satisfied. Because she knew how them folks could be. Okay? So those are my top three and my honorable mention.
Okay.
Now, so far I've only named Black and Brown. If I have to name another, I really enjoyed the recent Sing Song Blue. Sing Song Blues, like about the Neil
Oh,
Diamond cover band, and then
yeah.
Walk the Line was great.
Well, you know what? So, okay, this is the thing, right? I remember at the Academy Awards the year that Walk the Line was nominated.
Mhm.
And at this time I was still on some I'm only watching black movies type shit.
Okay.
Right? That was then. That was ages ago.
Okay.
And Jon Stewart was hosting the Oscars, I believe.
Mhm.
I think it was Jon Stewart. It was somebody. I may be incorrect. But I remember them saying, hey, shout out to Walk the Line, or as we like to call it, White Ray. And I saw it. That prompted me to see it. And you know what? That would shout out to Joaquin Phoenix.
For sure.
He did that. He did that.
Shout out to Eddington.
Shout out to Eddington too.
That's for another day. That's for another day.
Yeah, no, that's no, Walk the Line is fire. But yeah, everything you said is fire. Yeah, it's been a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of good ones where they should be able to churn these out in a way where the structure is quality.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. This is what I'll say, right? And I think people that listen to Podcrack will always say, that boy Sean, that boy is a deep in his heart, he's a racist. Here's the reason why. Because I think in our community, we will forego quality to get somebody who looks exactly like the person that they're playing, right? Anthony Mackie, shout out to Anthony Mackie. There's plenty of reasons not to shout out Anthony Mackie, but
no comment.
But Anthony Mackie,
I'll never ask him for a picture
ever, or anything.
If I see him, look the other way.
or a Captain America movie.
Okay. Still haven't seen it.
When in the movie Notorious, he did an okay job as Tupac. For me, like he embodied the spirit of what he was trying to do. Also, you know what my honorable mention is?
Okay.
MC Hammer.
For sure.
MC Hammer. Okay.
For sure.
Slept on. Sleeper.
For sure.
Sleeper. Don't get the love and respect this deserves.
I agree wholeheartedly.
But Anthony Mackie did an okay job to me as Tupac. Right? Mm-hmm. It didn't light the world on fire for me, but it was okay. People, because he didn't look like Tupac, people drag him through the mud for that. Which is why I forgot the young man's name who played Tupac in Straight Outta Compton, who favored Tupac and was also a pretty good actor.
For sure.
But then you come out with All Eyes on Me, the Tupac biopic, and this guy looks like a carbon copy of Tupac. But he's never acted before.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to focus on this person who cannot carry a movie, who hasn't even been taught to be a background and extra.
Right.
And so for this, I went into it knowing, listen, Jafar Jackson, that's bloodline.
For sure.
So he's going to be able to lock down the look. As long as they get the makeup right and the wigs right, he's going to be able to do the look. For a couple times, there were a couple scenes, I looked and said,
I won't go that far.
I know it was, and I'm not talking about dead on. I'm talking about some side profile shots.
For sure.
And I'm like, damn, okay. Just for a microsecond, a couple times though.
Yeah.
But it's hard, and I'll even say this about Straight Outta Compton. Ice Cube's son was in there. They didn't give him a lot of heavy lifting to do. Like the guy who played Easy, the guy who played Dre, these are actors.
For sure.
You have Aldous Hodge in there, actor.
Yes.
So this guy can look like Ice Cube over here while the actors are acting. Jafar Jackson is not an actor.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that was just him standing, looking, and people acting around him. Yeah.
Yep. quick sidebar. Jason Mitchell was supposed to be my favorite actor. I mean, he started out with season 1 of The Shy, and I was just like, this guy is incredible. I started watching all his independent projects,
Yeah.
and obviously he, really stood out to Compton, and then, he was pretty much blackballed, and I just wanted to make that quick aside because to me, he and Corey Watkins stole the show.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'm biased. I love O'Shea. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
He's not an actor in the way Corey and Jason are, but
It-
the career that Corey is having is the career that Jason should have had. And,
I agree.
I hope that he finds his way back, but man, that was just a quick aside.
Oh yeah, no. I'm fully aligned though. Like, yes, Jason Mitchell was supposed to be to the moon. Supposed to be to the moon, man. But yeah, so this is what I say, and like I said, I gotta compare it because I am who I am. Jason Weaver, the young man who did a good job. Jason Weaver just more personality, just gave me more young Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? On the plane, don't know the words to the national anthem. Scared to fly. So, these is moments in history right here. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if Michael Jackson was scared to fly, but I know Jason Weaver ain't want to get on that plane.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I chime in and say this? I obviously Jason Weaver, like stellar performance. I honestly think the young Michael Jackson was probably the best part of the film.
Yes. I mean,
and I say that because that was the most developed part of the biopic where we got some depth. It's like I can understand a kid being tired. I can understand a kid reading his books while his brothers are sleeping on the bus. He's tired. He doesn't do this. He's scared of his dad because he's getting whooped. Yeah. He really looks to his mother. He's bonding with Barry Gordy as a father figure because he feels safe and his sensitive demeanor. And I say that's why it started off so strong and I was so hopeful.
But I can tell that kid is an actor. You know what I'm saying? And because that kid segment right there, everybody in those frames are actors.
Yeah.
So they can convey emotion. They could do this. They could do that. And it's more show than tell. Mm-hmm. So I agree. He was better at being Michael than Jafar would be later, which is, but like I said, if I'm doing 1-to-1 comparison, him against Jason Weaver, I got to go with Jason Weaver.
You got to go with Jason. Yeah.
So, so we said, like I said, my feelings towards Jafar's portrayal, decent enough for what they asked him to do.
So here's the thing. I think he did a good job. I think that he played the role that he was asked to play.
Absolutely.
And he wasn't given more. There was no depth.
Yeah.
And I guess part of me wonders if, I think we get the point. We get the point that they were showing the human side of Michael, maybe the side that fans couldn't see, but even that just lacked depth. I get work ethic. I get pressing on. I get the positive thinking, the positive thoughts. I get, having this simultaneous need to separate himself from his family, but also needing his family because that's all he knows. And that's probably one of the only places he could be himself and have that strength of support from everybody else, maybe not his father. I got all of that, but what else?
Well, that's the thing. Like, what else? Let me ask you this question. I'm gonna pose this question to you. What is the story of this movie? Mm-hmm. What message is it trying to convey? And you touched on a little bit of that already, but if you could just expound a little bit.
I think the story of this movie is that Michael's story is complex. He's the best there ever was and the best there'll ever be. That was clear. Everybody around him knew it. I think to say that he's a prodigy and a hard worker, obvious. I'd say that he was a man without many friends.
Mhm.
At least ones that were maybe necessarily close enough. But of course, if the film didn't get into it, so who are we to know? Because I thought he was friends with like Eddie Murphy and Elizabeth Taylor and Iman and
Yeah.
Madonna, and he probably was. It just wasn't in this, and
Yeah.
and obviously Janet, who that's a glaring omission. Like I thought Janet was one of his best friends. Like that's his sister.
Yeah.
That was a whole era. But I mean, obviously we stop at what 1988. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
which my birth year. So overall, I feel like the story was just like this. Here's this complex person who's living under the limelight, but still has some sort of deference that he gives to his father and his family, and is like fighting for his independence and fighting for his vision and him morphing to the next level, and
Mhm.
eventually having to say, you know what? Like I love my family, I love my brothers, and to my own detriment, obviously the Pepsi commercial, it is I did the best I could, and now it's time for me to really transform. And I think it was also really interesting to see that even despite the stipulations that Joe Jackson had, with him being like, well, he's still a member of this group, but I'm still his manager, and you can record after. Michael was still a megastar,
Yeah. In
you
spite,
know,
in
in
spite of
spite.
everything.
So I appreciated, I saw a lot of like, oh, I do that, like with the positive notes in the mirror and him always writing positive things and changing his mindset and just sleepless nights and him like he's hanging with his brothers and it's just like working and just in the lab, and I get that and I appreciate that. But other than that, you like animals? Bubbles is your best friend. Your family gets that you're quirky and they're like, okay, yep, here go Michael. That's all, yeah, that's all. Like this is all you all. There's more depth there.
He's walking a llama down the block.
He's walking
Uh-oh.
along. There he is. He's just at the regular toy store playing with his driver, who's like I guess one of his only friends slash protector, and he's a kid at heart, and he's telling the kid about Atari. And I'm like, is that the way? Is this how we're gonna do this? That's how we're gonna address this?
Yes. So
Okay.
yes. The other elephant in the room, the
The
much
other
larger
one,
elephant in the room. The
and, it,
much larger elephant
and
in
the
the room.
name of it is what? Peter Pan,
Peter Pan.
Pied Piper, if you will, maybe. I
Peter
don't know.
Pan Pied Piper, also known as, hey, it's not weird. He's just doing Make-A-Wish stuff. He's the architect of the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Right.
That's all this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But listen, once again, it's a biopic. I don't expect them to, throw him in, drag him through the mud. You would expect that they would do something. You know what I'm saying? It would be
Yeah.
your character can't be perfect. It has to have some type of adversity, some self-internalized adversity, not just your hair
Yeah.
lit, your Jerry curl lit on fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But and continuous nose jobs that you only reference one of them. But
And I've been waiting for us to get to this.
okay.
Beyond the very beginning, where Joe, who has the Jackson 5 nostrils, as Beyonce called him, which is a very crazy way to say that you're ugly, your husband is ugly. Okay, I'll leave it alone. But I'm proud to be black as well, and I have a bell pepper, so
Hey man,
I don't want
yes.
anybody to come for me. I other than Joe calling him nose once, we're not getting into the trauma of them. He did have a noggin. I
He
mean
had
that
he
he
had a
had a
hump
big
on.
he had a hunker.
Yeah.
Sorry, not noggin. He had a hunker.
Yeah.
Joe had that big hunker to the point where they put those prosthetics in coma, and I said, okay, we're not in Zoe Saldana territory, but you're pushing it.
We on the line.
We're on the line.
We on the line.
We're on the line. So
Hey,
I
listen.
said, well, what else? And then it's like, then all of a sudden it was just like, here's another piece of tape. So we got a second nose job. And then we got Latoya, whose nose is still notorious.
Don't exist.
Listen,
Neither
she
does
said,
a body in 2026. But
I should get one too. I said, Latoya, you had Kathy's nose. You didn't need to.
listen.
You didn't need to do
Listen.
that, baby.
Listen. This is we gonna touch on something that I think this is where we disagree at.
Okay.
My least favorite part of the movie. We talked about the things we liked. kind of. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm going to tell you the thing that I hated the most about this movie.
Lay it on me.
Mr. Coleman Domingo come to the front of the congregation.
Oh, spicy!
Okay. Once again, full disclosure, I am a lover of American Dream, the Jackson 5 story.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. When I was growing up, I have a father, great father. You know what I'm saying? My father say something, I'm taking it as law. I was scared of Lawrence Hilton Jacobs and his portrayal of Joe Jackson. Michael, Tito,
100%.
You left towels in the pool again? Listen, listen. Hey, he didn't put no makeup on. He didn't have to put no nose on. Hell, he didn't even have he did have the Jerry curl for a minute.
Yeah.
But he was imperfect. But at the end of the day, I knew also, and this is something that Lawrence Fishburne said when he portrayed who am I thinking about, baby? In the movie we didn't mention. What's love got to do with it?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Glaring omission, but continue. We'll circle back.
Glaring omission. When Lawrence Fishburne played Ike Turner.
Yes.
One thing he said is, I understand the role that they want me to play.
Mm-hmm.
To play this role, though, I had to find the humanistic qualities of Ike Turner.
Yeah. And
then he goes into this story about how Ike Turner's father was shot in the chest by the cops on their front porch.
Wow.
And because they didn't have any money to bury him, he sat there. He sat in the house. The dead body sat in the house for like 5 days or something like that.
Wow.
Until they were able to get enough money to bury him. And he grew up in that. And so he said, okay, well, this is the mindset I got to get in. So Ike Turner, you know, Eat the Cake anime, all them things. Nutbush City Limits, that's your shit. You know what I'm saying? But he played him as a human. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs played a overbearing father, but he played a father that wanted more for his family.
That's right.
And to get out of, he was imperfect. He was an adulterer. He abused his kids, even though kids need whoopings. Fighting. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do not agree.
We know. So anywho, but he played him on a human level. Yeah. To me, Coleman Domingo played the literal devil.
Yeah.
In this film. That's it.
And that's not accurate.
I couldn't tell if he ever loved his kids or whether he just saw them as cash. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. That's the only thing Coleman Domingo gave me. Every time he turned around, he had a snarl on his face. It was like, who is this Darth Vader? Who is this? You know what I mean? And so there were no redeeming qualities about it.
Did he need to be redeeming though? Okay, go ahead. Did he need to be redeeming?
I never saw him as a father figure. I never saw him as a loving husband. I never saw him as anything other than the villain. The mustache twirling villain of this story. And I think that does Joe Jackson a disservice.
This is such a black male perspective. And given the day that we're shooting this podcast, I have thoughts because maybe there are no redeeming qualities of Joe Jackson. Maybe this is their reality. Beyond him being a provider and him saying like, hey, I don't want us to stay in Gary. I don't want you guys to be working in the coal mine or working at the factory or whatever. He was focused on success on the backs of his children. And maybe there was no part of him in this story when this began where he was a loving husband. You know, it was enough to, I mean, if we look at some of the old footage with, you know, his wife, you know, I mean, there's a reason why she stuck around, and it wasn't because she wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it's okay to show, in my mind, how maybe Michael saw him. That affection wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what this is a representation of is for, and I hope I don't get jumped for this, for a lot of black men, this doesn't pertain to our fathers. We had great fathers, great black
Right.
fathers.
Right.
But for a lot of people, and based on anecdotes and things that I've seen, um, a lot of families, if you have a black father that's in the home, they're already achieving,
Yeah.
right? It's like, well, you should already be grateful that your father's here,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let alone that mom still does, even if you have a great dad, mom still does 90% of that stuff, right?
Right.
Because your father's providing, your mom does all the other emotional supporting, all of the, behind the scenes, spending quality time with you. And I did appreciate seeing a bit more of that relationship between the two of them,
Yeah.
between Michael and his mother. But I think like this was a very real portrayal of like, okay, you had a black father in the home and he saw you as his meal ticket,
Okay.
simultaneously meal ticket, simultaneously also giving you a different kind of life and doing everything that he needed to get you out of there. But maybe that was their reality. Um, and I'm sure they're great. They have a wonderful life and they got out of Gary. And the reality is, even if Joe was extremely hard on them, these kids were talented.
Yeah.
And Michael was a prodigy. And Joe did the work that he needed to do to put them in the right rooms, and they took it from there. So I don't know if he necessarily needed to not be a villain. I do think that Coleman, it left me wanting more. I didn't feel terrified at all. Like I got that he was maybe intimidating, obviously to Michael. I got that he was intimidated to record exec because he was very matter of fact. But like you said, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs bodied him, which is crazy because by comparison, I would say like this is a Coleman would be at, you know what I mean, like at the level of Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, like as like a big star.
Yeah.
Let's not forget Cooley High,
Yeah.
and Claudine and a bunch of other ones. So it's just kind of like, I mean, even the colored contacts couldn't save this performance.
Yo, it just was so.
And I said, come on, makeup team.
It was like Saturday Night Live type makeup. Like you just want like your own. It's not even like showing the actors, not even allowing the actor to emote. It's just like we're gonna make you up until nobody can deny that you look like this person, this picture of this person. And that's all they went for. But I mean, to your point, right? The only thing I guess my only retort would be that I don't know, man. I think black fathers, and I have no kids, right? Full disclosure. But I would say that there's a time in which, and I can only speak from my own personal experience, is I had a great father, have a great father. What am I talking about? Have a great father. But when I was young, I'm not going to say, I don't know if he necessarily had the roadmap to raise a great son and also have that duality of emotion, that type of energy there. So a lot of it was just, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. And it was teaching, and it was some whoopings, and it was some of that, but I think he had an idea of what he wanted to achieve with raising me. And so I can't speak to Joe Jackson, but I can see some of that there. As I don't know, I ain't read a whole bunch of psychology books, and I can't give you, this is the way that I can guide you to where I need you to go. But I'm going to do the best I can with what I got. And so I think, yes, Michael Jackson was a prodigy. And I can't tell you how, and listen, I can tell you one thing with certainty in my eyes and in my heart. Marlon Jackson is untalented. But I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell when they was when I had you to myself.
Listen.
Because he made them all look the same.
Mhm.
So I got to give some hats off, some props to Joe Jackson, man. Because Joe Jackson said, listen, you talented. I don't know about you, but y'all going to be here. And I'm going to...
Listen, I'll say this.
What's up?
You know, overseers and slave masters, they got results.
Goodness. Kids need beatings.
They do not. It is child abuse. You know what? That's what I want to say. I'm so glad that society, especially in the Black communities, we're starting to wake up to the fallacies of what I believe is child abuse and wholly unnecessary. And you know what? Something that is not indigenous to our communities. Whipping. We didn't do that. Where we get that from? Huh? I'll let you think on that. But anyways, the scene, like the opening scene when Joe Jackson like spanks Michael because he makes a mistake in rehearsal, there was like two little black kids, and they were like, "Oh my gosh!" And I said, your parents are doing great. And they didn't make not a noise in the film. I said, now see, that's why they were jarred. They couldn't believe it.
They probably had a flashback. If they were well behaved, they were having a flash. Oh my goodness!
They were not having.
It's like last Thursday. Oh my goodness!
No, they. You could tell that they were like, oh my god, like the idea of a parent beating a child who doesn't. What? They were just aghast, and I said, the kids we're doing great as a community, much better, because they didn't make no noise. Now you know what? There were some kids in the theater who were a bit loud, and they had to be escorted out. And, you know, I'm assuming that maybe they had hands put on them. So it's not effective. It's not. Kids, when I tell you they were again, they said, oh! I laughed so hard.
The kids said, Marshall, you should have, hey, excuse me. When the last time y'all been beat? Never. And they yeah.
But for Michael, I mean, we have to acknowledge, like, the name of the movie is Michael. And according to the biopic and in a lot of Michael's interviews, that was his reality. Like, it was an unnecessary beating because that's the only way. I mean, Joe Jackson is made from Arkansas, you know?
Yeah. But
that's all he knew.
I mean, I feel you, but here's my thing. Like, like I said, I take this movie and I take The American Dream, right? When they had the talent show in the mall, and the first place prize was a color TV, or the second place prize a color TV.
I don't recall.
I don't remember what it was. I think the second place prize was a color TV, and they won second place. And Joe was like, "Hey, we don't want that. Come on, get in, Michael, Tito, get in the truck." I felt it. We don't settle for less.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That to me, but it was mean in the moment.
Yeah.
But as I grew, because when I was a young person, when I was a child, I was appalled. Let the kid get the color TV. Y'all ain't got color TV money. But as I grew, I said, hey, look, we're not settling for, you know what I'm saying, for shabby footwork, for notes that's off, for none of that. Right? Yeah. So, yeah, Joe Jackson, portrayals of Joe Jackson, it just wasn't for me, but that is what it is. This is what I will say though. There's two performances I'm gonna ask you about, and then we gotta get into some heavy stuff. Okay. So what I will say, this comparison, this imaginary competitor that they got, the American Dream, I will say Angela Bassett, Nia Long as Katherine Jackson, neck and neck. I'll put them there. I liked Nia Long's portrayal as Katherine Jackson. Obviously, as a child growing up, that was a role that Angela Bassett popularized. I didn't care. Go to bed, Joseph. Go to bed. Oh, I don't want you.
I don't want you. But once again, here's the thing. I thought Nia did a fantastic job. Angela just had a good script. I mean, Angela did fantastic as well, but we got to have those moments because the script gave it to us. I mean, other than the end,
Yeah.
where she was like, you know what? I'm standing up to you, and I dare you to do something about it. And it's like,
that to, huh? Go ahead.
I was
I'm
like,
sorry.
what? I mean, whereas Angela had her little moments throughout, because obviously she had to keep her kids alive.
Yeah, but this is what, and this is the correlation to me, right?
Yeah.
With Angela Bassett, her role and the interactions that she had with Lawrence Hilton Jacobs as Joseph Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the type of interactions that you would think that two married people have. With Nia Long and Coleman Domingo, that was the type of interaction that one of the heroes of the story and the villain of the story have. Like the go to bed, Joseph, and the I don't ever want you to think that everything that you have is not because of Michael Jackson. Same scene, same exact scene.
For sure.
Coleman Domingo's getting ready to whoop these grown men. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs is getting ready to whoop these grown men because somebody left towels in the pool. Right? And so that exchange with Angela Bassett, hey, these folks is grown in and went all around the world. You talking about some damn towels in the pool. If you don't go to bed, we have maids. All right? Go to bed. And this one is saucy. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's so to me, but once again, I put them, like you said, it's the script. What does the script say? And I can elaborate on the script, but I'm confined by the script as well.
Okay, so I want to chime in and say, the one thing that I did really love about the film is I loved seeing Michael's relationship with his mother.
Yes.
That was so relatable because me and Renee, when I tell you Turner Classic Movies, locked in with some popcorn, stove pop, not the microwave. That's me and mommy time. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And I'm one of the only ones in the family who loves musicals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love classics. You know, people might hate me, but I'm never not gonna like Gone with the Wind. I'm sorry.
It's an amazing film.
I'm a millennial of a certain age. Y'all will never make me hate Hattie. Okay.
Come on now.
Y'all never gonna make me Terre Haute. What?
You love Gone with the Wind. Hey, you sing? Let me holler at you real quick.
Listen, when I tell you Fred Astaire, so I appreciated him talking about that. I mean, I grew up loving Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly and watching all these films, and so I love seeing that depiction. I also appreciated seeing, I think in both films they capture her temperance, which is very soft and very sweet and very demure, which is where Michael got it from. Yeah. And I appreciated seeing that. Kind of like that innocence still being preserved by his mother by just, we're going to have our ice cream, we're going to have our mommy son time and chit chat and have our discussions, and there's that. So I appreciated that. And then kind of seeing the inspiration between him watching the old Charlie Chaplin films with his mother and the old horror films. And I appreciated that insight.
So I agree with you. And that is one of the things that I'll say I really did like about the movie is, and it's something I know about Michael Jackson, big fan of Michael Jackson, but seeing how through his lens, how he translates, like say Gene Kelly, Charlie Chaplin, how he translates that to the modern era of when he was.
For sure.
And that just very fascinating. How he, it even, I know they showed the scene of where they're on the set of Thriller.
Right.
And he's giving notes to John Landis. Hey, right. Charlie Chaplin says you got to get the feet and I'm like,
it was Fred Astaire.
Fred Astaire. Yeah. Right. Said you got to get the feet. The feet tell the story. I'm like, yo, all right. I like it.
That's right.
I like it. And shout out to one more person as we continue to round out this the cast of characters that made it this movie. Shout out to, I don't know the young man's name, but I know he was one of the love interests on Insecure playing he played Quincy Jones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was Issa Rae's other, suitor.
Yes.
And he lost out to her, ex who finally got it together.
Lawrence Hyde, man. Shout out Lawrence, man. Lawrence Hyde to La DIE. You know what I mean? Yeah,
That was level. No, couldn't be.
You haters.
Loser, get off the couch. Go get on Lexapro like the rest of us.
Haters live among us, man. You know what I'm saying?
Get on Lexapro and bupropion like the rest of us. Get a job. Bum. Forgot her birthday. But no, Kendrick Sampson was great.
Yes, he was great. He was great in that role. And this is the second time that I've seen Quincy Jones portrayed. Ironically, by one of the people I'm about to mention. Lorenz Tate played him in Ray. And different eras in Quincy Jones's life. So I really appreciated this portrayal of him. I didn't think I was going to like it because of the trailer. He just seemed like he was talking real slow. I'm like, okay. But this is what I'm going to ask you. And I have a running joke in my friend circle of ranking, because all of these movies have somewhere in the production line produced by, it has something to do with Motown. Motown always got a hand in it. So people always, they always make sure whoever can play whoever, whoever, you can have 100 people play different roles and stuff like that. They always make sure somebody who's capable is going to play Berry Gordy.
100%.
So I ask you this. In American Dream, it was played by Billy D. Williams. And this is my thing. When I was a kid, I thought I was under the impression that Berry Gordy was something that he was a looker. I thought he was a looker because he always played by somebody smooth and suave. And I'm like, then when I finally see Berry Gordy, I'm like, this bald nigga right here?
Yeah.
But
no, Berry Gordy is a handsome man.
Okay. Okay. So anywho, let me ask you this. Billy D. Williams in American Dream. Oba Babatunde in The Temptations.
Temptations, but you don't even have to finish. Not even close.
Without a doubt. That's your one?
What? Not even close. The best. It's like, there's certain people who play like Martin Luther King. It's like, I don't want anybody else to play Berry Gordy. He was excellent. And he
Babatunde did his thing.
He favors, he's close enough to look like Berry Gordy.
Yeah. Okay, I give you that. That's hey, listen. That's definitely not the wrong answer. You know what I'm saying? I'm aligned with you on that. Here's the question that needs the answer. And you hit on this a little bit earlier, but who are the Jacksons as it pertains to this movie? Because there were just 4 niggas standing behind Michael through various points of this film. Nobody differentiated Jermaine. Nobody differentiated Marlon. Nobody differentiated Jackie. Nobody differentiated who was Tito. They mentioned them. Sometimes they called him by name and somebody would turn around. But I couldn't pick these people out of a lineup. They were one-dimensional characters.
Okay.
You could have put a cardboard cutout in there. And they never introduced Randy.
Never.
And they had one sister. They had one sister named LaToya.
One sister, not Jaden, who he had a whole era with.
And
arguably one of the best music videos of all time.
Come on now. Hey! But yeah, just gross misrepresentation of the Jackson family.
Can I make a quick interjection?
Please.
I thought of my baby because they said Jermaine got on his own. He stayed with Motown. Yeah, to give us arguably one of the best songs ever.
Woo!
Castles of Sand.
Castles of Sand.
Glad he stayed at Motown.
Castles of Sand.
A hit.
Put some respect on it.
What? I said, oh, he had his little solo. Listen, that's still one of our favorite songs.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. One of
So
our
I
favorites.
said he could be mad all he wants to. I'm glad Jermaine stayed with Motown for a little bit.
Yeah, but they could have. I mean, like I said, you only have this movie was 2 hours and some change. It's only so much you could portray, but they could at least fleshed out the Jacksons.
For sure.
And if I'm not mistaken, Haley Bailey, it was cast as, and I'm sure some cutting room floor footage somewhere. She was Janet in this film.
Interesting.
They had to cut her out of the movie. I don't think Janet was on board. And they had to cut out, they had somebody portraying Gladys Knight, but they had scenes with Diana Ross that were cut out of this film.
Now they did so much to remove Diana from this film.
Absolutely.
Because I'm like, who's this talent? We all know Diana was central to this. So I was a bit confused.
Yeah, and I think they kind of, that's why they cut in that scene of Gladys Knight and had her kind of acting the same type of, I'm somebody who's established and let me shine some light and shed some credence to these young men.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's glaring omission from the film. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. So I wasn't cool with that. I understand that the Jackson 5 or the Jacksons are not as important in the annals of history as Michael Jackson, but still, I would have said these are your siblings. Like,
yeah, I wanted more about the Jacksons for sure. And even though it was named Michael, it was clear that he had a relationship with his brother. It's, I love the scene where he went to the store and he's like, let's get some Twister because it's hell for me to leave my home because everywhere I go, everybody wants autographs and wants to see me and take pictures with me. So the home is a safe space where these are people who know me and where I felt comfortable. And he's like, let me just hang with my brothers. And they're playing a game of basketball, which I go, not right now. And they all like, no, we can't play. We got a date. We got this going on. We got that going on. So he plays with Bubbles, which, as a lover of an animal, my dog Kai, we do be doing dumb shit like that. I felt like that was very accurate. Now, not a chimpanzee, but a dog. But yeah, me and my dog be playing. Me and Kai do crazy. We be playing games and running around like he's a human for sure.
Listen. But here's the thing that I don't know if anybody would. That's of the time as well, because I don't know in today's day and age if somebody would let me, even if I had the means, would allow me to purchase a chimpanzee.
I'm gonna tell you this: if you came. Especially, what was the movie? There was a recent movie about like a former pet chimp going crazy and killing like all the kids in the house. Great. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes.
But hell no. And then, I don't want Peter knocking on my door. And then it's like, why would a wild animal be in my house? We already didn't kidnap these doggone dogs and took them from their mamas.
Yes.
That's already too far. And as someone who bought a designer mutt, and now I know better, I'll adopt next time.
Terrible. Shout out my boy Kai.
Shout out to our boy Kai. I can't get with a chimp. That is some very famous stuff.
Yeah.
I thought it would be important for us to address some of Michael's album eras.
Yes.
Because we clearly got Off the Wall, part of it, and we got Thriller. We stopped at Bad.
Getting a part of Off the Wall is very generous. You're very generous in saying
For
that.
sure.
Because all they did was Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Listen, the Quincy Jones trilogy in Michael's discography.
Come on now.
And taking nothing away from Dangerous, right? Because Dangerous is a behemoth in its own right. It is his interpretation of New Jack Swing. That's a whole nother thing.
For sure.
But in that Quincy Jones trilogy, they are put together like greatest hits albums. Like, we talk a lot about this album has no skips. It's a classic. That Quincy Jones trilogy has no skips in it. And to point out Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, like that's just the one on Off the Wall, is criminal.
Yo. Here's something I wanted to mention. Now, we did get a bit of Working Day and Night.
Yes.
And I thought that was beautifully woven into the story. Because listen, Joe said you will be touring at all times. Whether you're a solo artist, regardless, your little night, your little, you know, they say, the new age millennials, we got the 9 to 5 and the 5 to 9s because inflation, because nigga, bitch gotta keep 2 jobs. And Joe said, you too, and I got your ass from 9 to 5.
Listen,
you can do whatever you want at night, baby.
Joe had them niggas in the original 360.
You got me working day and night.
So to juxtapose that against him talking about, hey, we had more tour dates, we going international, we going every continent, and they was out there cutting up on that Working Day and Night.
Listen.
Yeah. But once again, to me, that's the other bookend, right? Just the same way I said Angela Bassett talking to Lawrence Hilton Jacobs regarding the towels in the pool being the same as Nia Long and Coleman Domingo discussing Joe Jackson being fired as Michael Jackson's manager. Same scene, just in a different thing. The end of the Victory Tour is the end of the American Dream miniseries. Mm-hmm. And it's nearly the end of this film.
Yeah.
So they almost end in the same place except for the Bad, you know what I'm saying, him doing the song from the Bad era. But that Willie Draper, shout out to Willie Draper, you know, we were beaten down, beaten up. We could barely get a color TV. And I want to thank my mother, you know what I'm saying? And then he thanked his mother, but also my father. You know what I mean? And you see that he has love for his father. At the end of the day, troubled dynamic, but still got love for him.
Yeah.
And they say, we want to thank you. But they, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But yeah. I think they really, to your point, I think they really undersold the music in this movie.
Absolutely. And as a Michael fan, that's hard to do.
Yes.
I also feel like they didn't really convey to the viewer just how big of a deal it was for Michael to be working with Quincy Jones.
1000% agree.
Because the same way that the film accurately portrayed Michael as a genius, a child prodigy, if you will, Michael specifically, when he was saying like, oh, I'm, venturing off into being solo, I need you to tell my dad I'm being solo, tells, I think, Epic Records. And he's like, yeah, it was of note that he was working with Quincy. Quincy Jones is working on an album. So that in and of itself, that is like the name. So for them not to really like fully, like we knew who Berry Gordy was, right? I don't know if all audiences know how big of a deal Quincy Jones was and is.
Yes.
Across generations.
Absolutely.
Younger generations, they know Berry Gordy because it keeps being hammered into heads. Younger generations may not know how big of a deal Quincy Jones is.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was fully, beyond him just being there, I don't think they fully showed that.
Can I say something that's incendiary?
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something that will get it's not, and I know, and I'm talking, there's a buzzword because I'm talking to one of the people that had their hands in the pot when this hit the community. One thing that's gonna get my black card revoked, and I'm talking to the right person when I say that. You know, you gotta give people their flowers while they're here. You feel me? This is the thing, man. I just gotta say it. They almost portray Michael as more trill than he is, man. Because here's the thing. Let me say this, man.
Elaborate. Take your time.
Take your time. Michael is one of the most legendary performers of all time. He is the biggest thing since sliced bread. That's not hyperbole. He actually is.
Literally.
However, he might have had ideas musically. He might have had ideas for songs, but that trilogy, Off the Wall, Thriller, Bad, is the genius of one Mr. Quincy Jones, who is a composer, not a producer.
Right.
He is a classical composer, world travel composer.
Yeah.
He ain't putting the beat machine. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, no shade. Swiss Beats, Kanye West. He not just running the drum machine. He's making music.
For sure.
So for Michael Jackson just to be no. Yes, probably. But don't try to undersell the genius, the musicology of Quincy Jones. Right?
Yeah.
And there's another unsung hero in this trinity. Our Caucasian brother, Rod Temperton.
That's true.
Who wrote for Michael Jackson on your Off the Wall, your Thriller, and your Bad. So this little, I'm writing Mama Say, Mama Sabu Maku Sab on the book. You might have did it, but don't act like I'm trying to get the ideas so they don't give them to Prince. This is and shout out to Akir, you know what I'm saying, family member of the show.
Mm-hmm. Shout out.
Who for the longest time believed the kayfabe that Michael Jackson wrote all of his music. Writers write. They don't only write for themselves, they write for other people. Michael Jackson, to his credit, does not have a discography of hits that he wrote for other people. That tells you all you need to know, and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
I'm gonna stop this Michael slander right now because I have hope for our relationship, and I don't want you to piss me off. Okay? Don't piss me off. I'm just gonna ignore what you just said and just say I'm gonna cherry pick what I wanted to hear, which is that they undersold Quincy Jones's genius and impact, and him and the extent to which he was a key collaborator with Michael Jackson, and we'll leave it at that.
Hey, listen, sweetheart. Hey, man, I'm willing to go out on my sword, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'll step on that island by myself gladly. Writers write, though. Writers write. That's all I'm gonna say. Listen. Sinead O'Connor, nothing compares to you. That's a hit. That's a Prince hit. R. Kelly, he got hits on other people. Writers write. That's all I'm gonna say.
You brought up R. Kelly when Beyonce was right there.
Is Beyonce a writer?
Absolutely. Next question. Tread lightly.
Let me review the documents.
Could have said Candy Burris. I feel like this is
Candy Burris is a writer.
You know what? You too red pill adjacent. Get me off this podcast. This nigga said Sinead O'Connor. You know, you have a knack for only naming white women and black men. And that might be my cue.
I don't know if I've ever been charged with that. This might be a first time. I don't. White women and black men.
When were we watching? There was something we were watching, and like all your picks was like, oh, the Oscar nominations and who your projected winners were.
Did they win?
Not nan
Did
one
they win?
Black actress. All black men and white women.
Did they win?
No
Huh?
comment.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What you say now? I picked them. Did they win though? Woo! I rest my
I'm
case.
kissing my teeth.
I rest my case.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know. This is what I'll say. This is gonna be our last little thing before we bring it on home. So I heard it in the news before, but now I saw what's the name? I'm sorry, Coleman Domingo, Neil Long. I saw them give an interview saying that if this movie does well enough, there'll be a part two. My question to you is, what does a part two of this story even look like?
The film lacked depth. We don't need a part two.
No.
Because it's like if the film had like nuance beyond just like playing a few greatest hits and giving us a little insight into him solving gang violence in California, uh I would be excited. But it was just, what do we get? Oh, Michael living free without Joe Jackson and going and doing bad. And, here's the thing, and staying relevant during the time where gangster rap is going on. You got people like Bobby Brown, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Do addition, and you
Yeah.
still making hits, you know what I mean? You got MC Hammer.
Bring me the glove.
Bring me the glove. I do appreciate it because this is a whole different, New Jack Swing.
Yeah.
This is a whole different ball game. And then we talked about this a couple days ago, the Invincible album. What? This man has literally been a star for decades and made it the Invincible album.
He did make the Invincible album. He did that shit.
What?
I just don't know if
don't need
there's 2.5 hours more story to tell that is still sanitized, right? Because this was a very sanitized thing. There was he mentioned Prince once, you know what I'm saying? So like it's still very sanitized. He didn't really have a lot of stress or strife or whatever, for whatever reason. And Flex Alexander, somebody who never gets mentioned
No,
in the legacy of Michael Jackson.
For good reason, but go ahead.
For great reason. He had a movie that was very much chronicled the legal troubles that Michael Jackson got into. I don't want to see that. It's not like, I get what happened. I understand what happened. I think that's something that's going to follow Michael Jackson's legacy for the rest of history. I just don't think it needs to be chronicled on film. Like, you can have your court TV docs, you can have your comedians make jokes or whatever, but the damage has been done. It's going to be something with them forever. I just don't see a tasteful way to portray it in film.
Yeah. And a quick aside, this just reminded me, particularly the scene where he mentions Prince, which was funny. He makes quick reference to the creator. And that was the only indication in the film that we had that Michael had any sort of religious affiliation, when we know he was a Jehovah's Witness for a long period of time, before they severed ties in the late 80s. But he still remained deeply a man of faith. And I felt like that was a glaring omission for him to be Michael, because what we saw on film was him being the embodiment of someone who practices love and love for all mankind, and loving, am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. And spending time with kids in the hospital, and doing all these good deeds and all these acts. And so I thought that was a glaring on me. This is called Michael, right? Like, his faith was a big part of who he was.
Absolutely.
And one of the big reasons why his mother stayed.
Yeah.
So that's just one last little tidbit I wanted to add in there, because I was just like, why do we need a part two when we need to even fully get into, if we wanted to get into all the sanitized parts of Michael, there's one right there.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the JW folks who will not be named, maybe they said, don't put nothing in don't say nothing. Okay. Okay, maybe they said don't say nothing. Them JWs, they don't play about that KH. I ain't even gonna say that. I want them finding me. There's one around the corner from me. Listen, we practice holiness in this household. I don't do none of that. So I'm gonna leave them alone.
Oh yes. Everything. Yes, absolutely. Real and one thing I just want to add before we rock into the end of this thing, this lovely experience that I've had today speaking with you.
Yeah.
They would have to get another actor for part two as well, because Jafar, he was able to play Bell Pepper Nose Michael Jackson. He was pretty good. He was all right as Bell Pepper Nose Michael Jackson. He was amazing as Thriller Michael Jackson.
For sure.
I don't think he can play white Michael Jackson.
I don't think he can either.
Because so spoiler alert, the movie ends on his performance when Bad comes out. Not a very convincing white Michael Jackson.
And can we say that finally they gave us like a full performance at the end of the film?
Yeah.
That pissed me off so bad because maybe I wouldn't have been so harsh.
A lot of montages. A lot of
what?
Tapping on the music. Like, yeah.
If we would have got several full performances, I probably would have been like, you know what, this sucks, but the music was banging.
Exactly. But yeah, and let me just say one thing, Antoine Fuqua. This listen, man. The crowd wasn't hype enough for me. I seen 4 people die to Man in the Mirror. Just soul left their body laid out flat. I ain't see that in this movie. You know what I'm saying? I saw niggas die to Man and I saw niggas die to Dirty Diana. Just laid out in the crowd till people sweep them to the side. You know what I'm saying? I saw them fall out, pass out. No. I need somebody gone.
And this is the other things. I'm glad we're getting there to what made this be a film that we would consider lacking in depth. We have our scene with MTV where he's like with the teams with CBS with his manager and basically like, look, you got to do what you got to do, and he did what needed to be done. I don't think they fully addressed what Michael did for race relations in the United States.
Absolutely. And this is my thing. I'm glad you brought up that scene because MTV is dead at this point. So it's not even like you're protecting the legacy of what MTV is in today's day and age because it's relatively means nothing. But I wanted to hear more of MTV's retort because this man can't walk down the street. You talk about, I'm a MTV, we gonna play Bruce Springsteen. And there's no Bruce Springsteen slander here on this broadcast.
Boss.
But what are you using to justify the biggest artist on the planet and not putting him on music television?
Right.
So like I saw the head of CBS Records get brolic and wild and put a little sauce in his voice. You know what I'm saying? When talking to the MTV head.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear the other side of that conversation.
I did too.
Like,
that's a fair point, Sean, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I need to know. And so, like I said, it was a good little flyby of moments in Michael Jackson's the life and times of Michael Jackson. But it left a lot to be desired. So, Dr. Meg, let me ask you this. On a grading scale, A to F, what are you giving Michael?
A generous C.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. I would say a D plus.
Fair.
A D plus. Very strong D. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just to me, like you said, it gave you hints and whiffs of stuff you wanted to see, and it gave you some good scenes and some good sequences. But it just lacked what I would need to enjoy a film.
For sure. And honestly, what I wanted to say was a C minus, and that's solely because of some of the good acting,
Yeah.
particularly by young Michael, by Nia Long, I actually really thought I enjoyed Jafar. Like I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But it becomes difficult when we start doing the comparison to other good biopics, right? So this is me operating. Let's say I'm Claude or Chat GPT and I'm operating standalone. I'm giving it a generous C, a C minus. If I said, "Hey, Chat GPT, can you do a comparison of Michael to these other biopics that we named, like our Mount Rushmore?"
Yeah.
I think it might fail.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't see this being mentioned in line with the ones, that we hold in high regard.
Can I add one more honorable mention that I forgot? Because
Please.
it got me thinking about, I mentioned like I love seeing the movie nights with Michael and his mother and then watching their old shows, and it made me think about me and my mother. One of our favorite, coal miner's daughter.
Ooh.
Loretta Lynn.
Ooh, you know what?
Great film.
Coal Miner's Daughter does not get enough love, man.
It doesn't. Excellent film.
It does not get enough love. So okay, all right.
Yeah, that was
okay.
Like we would turn that on. I can call my mom right now and be like, "When you come here for my surgery, can we watch Coal Miner?" She'd be like, "What? I'm gonna send you a DVD and a DVD player to ensure that even if there's no internet for whatever reason, we're gonna watch this film."
Listen, it's serious. You know what I mean? So I rock with that. I rock with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is it. Yeah. No, it's too many good musical biopics for, like it just is a, and I think I don't know if I mentioned, since we've been speaking, my disdain and contempt for the New Edition miniseries and also the Bobby Brown miniseries.
Yo,
I don't respect it.
Some people don't like being black, and it's okay if you're one of those people. Because some things are for us, and everybody, isn't. I know you went to Catholic schools and stuff like that. Not all of us. Some of us went to city schools in the hood. Okay, and if you can't relate to us loving the New Edition made for TV,
are you B-rabbing me right now? Are you trying to 8 Mile me right now?
The unblackening is happening because that's
this nigga named Clarence.
That's an anti-black statement. No, you don't like the New Edition. That is an anti-black statement.
It wasn't good.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes, mind you. 100%.
Listen, not everybody
anti-black,
has taste.
Anti-black.
Not everybody has taste, man.
Anti-black.
Listen, oh my goodness, it's terrible.
This Catholic school, nigga, get out of here. It wasn't for you.
I'm being branded a trash panda once again, man. Listen. That's terrible.
Talk about it bad. When I tell y'all, watched that thing so many times, I had to call my parents and said, "What's the BT Plus login?"
Oh my god.
Which is no more. BT Plus is gonna be done, so it's gonna be on Paramount Plus. But listen, as a grown adult who doesn't have cable and still uses her parents' login for everything, I said, "Run me that." I said, "Record it, please. I'll be opening it up on Xfinity."
This is terrible. This
crazy
is terrible.
Word. Come on,
I hate that horribly produced miniseries in a time where I didn't even know we were still doing miniseries. So I was very hyped for it. New Edition is one of my favorite groups of all time.
I know.
And I just sat there and watched it and said, "Hey, you guys are good. What do you call yourselves? Boys to Men. Nigga, get out of here."
That's nuts.
Get out of here.
You're the first person I've ever spoken to. This is almost it for us. You're the first person I ever spoke to because I said, "Does he like being black?"
Listen. Sometimes I don't beat the allegations, and that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. You love it. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Hey, Yeah, you know what I mean. But that is just my cross to bear, I suppose. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But Dr. Meg, I appreciate you for joining me today on this very special episode.
So here's a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Would we see this again?
Woo! To show it to family.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what's funny? We're all planning to go see it with my family soon. My mom is like, how was it? And I said, y'all told me not to say anything. I'm like, cool. And I just didn't say anything. But they know, I think they know that if it was good, I would just be like, I can't wait to see it again. I literally just crickets.
I think Michael Jackson is such a cultural touchstone for people in general.
Yeah.
But especially in the Black community. I would, if I'm in a group setting, I'll see this again. Yeah. I don't know that I would watch it on my own. I don't know if me and you were at the house, we're watching it. We're throwing it, throw that Michael on. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I watch it again, but only in a group setting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ma'am, thank you so much for joining me.
Of course.
I know I put you on the spot and put a microphone in front of you, but I appreciate you.
Of course.
Pie crack, right? Real guys talking that real shit.
Rate, comment, and subscribe.